AOC and Bernie Sanders sat down in an interview previously recorded with CNN's Caitlin Collins, Sweet Caroline Levitt's nemesis, and discussed the government shutdown and the healthcare issues that everyday Americans are having to deal with. Take a listen and tell me that if everything they said was a lie.
Shutdown is going on. You and I have spoken multiple times during this, but we're now on the 15th day. The 9th vote to reopen the government failed. Do you think Speaker Johnson is right when he says that this could be one of the longest government shutdowns in U.S. history?
No.
Don't you love it when you can go back and replay what the Democrat Party says after the fact? Straight up lie.
I think the Republicans are catching on that you can't throw 15 million Americans off of the health care they have. And studies indicate that when you do that, some 50,000 Americans a year will die unnecessarily. And then on top of that, just in Vermont today, Caitlin, people in my state, all over this country, are beginning to receive notices from insurance companies about what their new premiums will be if we do not stop what Trump is doing. In my state of Vermont, there are people today who receive notices that their premiums are going to quadruple. Some less, 3 times. In my state of Vermont, and again, this is true in many parts of the country, middle-class families will be paying $50,000 a year for health care. Anyone think that's sane? It's not. Who can afford that? Republicans are catching on. They're playing a losing hand. They are going to come to the table finally and address the healthcare crisis that they've created.
Wrong again, Bernie. You guys folded. At least Chuck Schumer did. And as for the healthcare crisis, that was caused by the Democrats and the Biden administration.
Okay, so you think Republicans will come to the table sooner rather than later. The White House has not indicated as much, and today the budget director, Russ Vought, said that north of 10,000 federal workers could be laid off during this government shutdown. Does that make Democrats rethink their strategy at all?
I don't think so. I think that what Russ Vought just announced today in the laying off of federal workers, we learned today, a judge has put a temporary restraining order because it is likely illegal what he and the Trump administration is doing. The problem is that this administration, the Trump administration, folks like Russ Vought, they think that destroying our health care, making sure that housing is too expensive to live in, that jacking up the cost of our groceries, they think all of this is about hurting Democrats. What they are doing is hurting Americans, and they are hurting this country. And if Mike Johnson wants to say that this shutdown is going to last a long time, it is because he is choosing to punish the American people, and we cannot stand for it, and we cannot allow it. And we also cannot enable it by acquiescing and enabling the behavior of bullies. So it ends today.
Roll again, AOC. Federal workers did get laid off during the shutdown, and the Democrat Party admitted that they would shut down the government and that they was using the American people as leverage, not the Republicans.
So
If I could just add to something, Alexandria.
go ahead, Senator.
This is the cynicism of the Speaker of the House. Where were your Republican colleagues tonight? They're back here in Washington negotiating?
That's an excellent question, Bernie. Right now, House Democrats are in Washington, D.C. Senate Democrats are in Washington, D.C. Even Senate Republicans, I believe, are still in Washington, D.C. The only people who are not in Washington, D.C. are the over 200 elected Republicans in the House of Representatives, because Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, refuses to call the House in session. He refuses to also seat Adelita Grijalva because they want to prevent the 218th signature on release of the Epstein files as well.
Don't you love it when you can go back and replay what was said previously? Mike Johnson, the House of Representative leader, said he was not bringing the House back until the government was open. And once the government was open, he brought everybody back and they had to vote. So Mike Johnson didn't lie.
Can I ask you on that? Because Speaker Johnson was asked about that today, and he said it has nothing to do with that. It's so she can have all the pomp and circumstance that is afforded to most members when they're sworn in. Do you don't believe that?
No, Mike Johnson has sworn in several members, Republican members, in pro forma sessions. He understands that the importance of this country, the importance of representation, is not about pomp and circumstance. And in fact, it's not just about Representative Grijalva. It's about the over 700,000 people in the state of Arizona, veterans, seniors, teachers, students, who do not have anyone to call in an emergency because their elected representative that has been certified at municipal, state, and the federal level, federal acknowledgement, he refuses to seat a duly elected official here in the House of Representatives.
We all know now that once the government was open, House Speaker Mike Johnson swore in the Congresswoman from Arizona. And what did they do? They signed a petition to release the Epstein files. And they leaked emails trying to link Jeffrey Epstein to Donald Trump, what turned out to be false. We all know now that the government was shut down in an attempt to punish Trump, but it wound up punishing the American people. Now hear what they said then and what happened now. Can you truly say you trust anything the Democrat Party has to say? Drop a comment. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow God, not culture.